Thanks for tuning in to this session of Beyond Bitcoin's Delegate Edition. Giving potential delegates a unique opportunity to discuss their ideas, plans, and goals to help fortify the BitShares ecosystem. If you're a potential delegate and would like to create your own hangout, then please send your request to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com. Are you finding yourself addicted to our hangouts? Need the next fix? Then please vote for our delegate, fuzzy.beyondbitcoin. Again, that's fuzzy.beyondbitcoin. In addition, you can also check out our new website, beyondbitcoinshow.com, for the latest recordings and events. Now let's join in with our featured delegate.
Welcome everyone to another Beyond Bitcoin Delegate Hangout. Today is Saturday, April 18th, 2015. We are joined today by RGCrypto, who runs the delegate.rgcrypto, BitShares delegate, and DataSecuritynode from the MineBitshares project. RGCrypto intends to inform the community of his pivot in marketing strategy toward contributing his full delegate pay to help ensure the MineBitshares project remains sufficiently funded. He also plans to explain the value of this proposition for marketing over all others to date. DataSecuritynode will then explain MineBitshares and will give us an idea of how he plans to move forward with this strategy. I'm looking forward to hearing both of them speak and answer any community questions, and we hope you enjoy the hangout. Giving a little bit of an update on what's going on with your delegate, there's been a little bit of a misunderstanding in my eyes on the forums as to what's going on behind the scenes with your delegate. Marketing has been kind of an issue in the past, so people are very sensitive to it. It's nice to have somebody that I see in the background constantly working on stuff, but not everybody knows necessarily that you're doing a lot of different things, RG. So if you'd like to provide some updates on that, and that might be a good place to start.
Yeah, I think I can get started first with what was the purpose of the delegate and, start from there. Basically, to recap, the idea behind my delegate was to generate traffic to bring in new users. So I went out there, used the delegate fund, 100% of it, to try a whole lot of different funnels in different places. And I got to a point where actually, we did a whole lot of change in Null Street, where a lot of our communication moved to Slack, and from Slack every Sunday we meet and we share what we're working on, what's happening, some of our issues, and how we can move forward and get better. So that's happening in the background. So we meet every Sunday and we talk over our project and discuss new idea.
What time do you have these hangouts in case anybody who's listening and who is not aware of them would like to attend?
Right. Anyone who is interested in marketing or what's happening, we meet every Sunday, 9 p.m. East. And usually Data is there. There's a Solomon who come and join us once in a while. There's Jabba. There's Xeldal. Sometimes he's there. We have Bitscape, Roadscape Brother. We have Stan who shows up to kind of, give a little update from what they're working on, things of that nature. And he's always good counsel. I really like Stan. So that was what's happening. And what happened is that at the beginning of my advertising, it picked up real good. But what happened is that I hit the bell curve real fast on where, the diminishing return came really fast and the cost per acquisition was way too high. And I just kept on trying different things and maybe something's going to pick up. But really what it came down to in our discussion is that, the job of bringing in users should be to the businesses on top of BitShares. Advertising BitShares for BitShares' sake is really, really tough because you have to bring people from through a really long bridge to get them from, if they're from the Bitcoin, get them to understand DPoS, bit assets, all of that thing. So that brings in the cost of acquisition really, really high. And really my first intention was to bring in as many users as possible with my delegate fund. I don't want those funds to be wasted. And it really was disheartening me. I was getting discouraged a little bit. And then what happened is I look at the referral board, and really MineBitshares was kicking my ass. They were twice as successful at bringing in new users than me. And while we were talking on our mumbles, it was like, if we can, the businesses are the one that brings in users, and BitShares Core should market to entrepreneurs, or market our people who would like to build on top of BitShares. And then, people who want to connect, for example, Moonstone or wallets or any business I want to build on top, they should be the one getting new users. So that was kind of my thought process. And simultaneously, there was Netib that was letting go of MineBitshares, and I was always super excited about that project. But it was letting it go, and Data said, "Hey, I'm willing to step forward and take care of that project." And I just say, "Hey, let's concentrate our marketing towards a business that's so far proven to bring in new users who use our product, because." If I go advertise out there, get new users, it doesn't tell me if they put money in this or they use it. As with MineBitshares, I knew that they get a payout, they get BitUSD, and even if they just sell it for Bitcoin, it creates liquidity. And, maybe they'll get it with time that, they can get a yield, they can park there, they can calculate their profit and loss easier, all of those things. So that's really where I was like, I really want to change my delegate fund, because $30, $35 for new users, $40 is way too high, especially since I don't have the analytics on the back end if they put any money. So that's kind of what happened in the past 2 months.
You found that with the analytics that you had available to you, MineBitshares was pretty much not just kicking your ass, but was kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, I look through the forums all the time for anybody who I think would be interesting to bring on to talk to the community. And, I actually somehow missed this delegate proposal. And I don't know how, but Nettie B had a delegate proposal asking for, 3 delegates, correct?
I think on this original it was 1. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I know that the one that I was reading, I'm almost positive it was 3 whenever I read it. So it might have been that one in the past. But I had also been made aware of the fact that he was spending a very large chunk of change out of his own pocket to keep this up and running for the past essentially 9 months, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do we have the actual amount? I heard $500 a month.
That's about right. Yeah, he has all kinds of servers he has to pay for at Amazon.
So I just want to, this is a good opportunity to let everybody who listens to these Hangouts to recognize what Nettie's been doing without saying a word about it for a long time now. And these are the types of people that, it saddens me that his life circumstances have changed to the point where he can no longer help with this project. But I actually kind of personally feel a little bit responsible for that, because I feel like maybe if we would have recognized this early on, he would have, his circumstances might be different. And I would also like to consider, over time, maybe consider us being able to maybe recompense some of those expenses for him. But that's something that's not necessarily the point of this Hangout. But I did want to get to that just real quick, because you guys now have, because of all of this, where we are today, well, would one of you guys like to explain where we are today?
Well, I'm just going to get a little bit started, and then I'm going to pass the baton to Data.
Okay, go ahead.
So where we are at is that thanks to the community, we got MineBitshares Delegate, in. I pledged my entire 100% of it also to MineBitshares. And then we have people like you who give, a percentage of your delegate towards that end. So that's really amazing. That's a really good start. Now what we got to do is to work on bringing in the next level of technology within MineBitshares. And I'm going to let Data talk about it.
And before Data gets in there, I just want to express to anybody who's listening that it's not just myself. The entire Beyond Bitcoin team, we have 5 people who have volunteered for pretty much a year prior to the Beyond Bitcoin delegate being up and running. We were doing everything we were doing out of pocket and out of our own time. And my idea behind it was the people who volunteer out of their own time and their own money are the ones that are going to be here through thick and thin. So those are the ones that I wanted to kind of reward. And so we have a delegate that splits the 100% fees between all of us. And therefore, all of us then usually will pitch in on different things that we feel are beneficial to the BitShares community. And RG, we really respect your expertise in the space. And I mean, you've shown us proof that this was absolutely amazing compared to all other marketing avenues up to this point. So we did sign on for, I believe it was 11.5% of our delegate, but that's coming out of all of our pockets, not just mine. With that said, please, Data, could you get started on, because Data, you are the one who's taking it over, right? When Nettie leaves.
That's right. Actually, I have been pretty much taking care of the pool for the past week, actually, because Nettie is actually away on vacation right now. And that's kind of, it's been just a matter of watching over the pool, getting familiar with how the payout structure works and so on. So that's pretty much what's been going on this past week. Is pretty much keeping the pool going where it is. Once Nettie gets back, we'll be continuing the process and moving the entire network into the bunker. And so we started that process just before he was going, but we ran out of time and just really focused on making sure that I could keep everything up and running while he was gone. So initially what's going to happen is that we have to get that transition done, and we're going to do our best to make it as smooth as possible with little interruptions to the miners. And following that, the primary thing we need to do is we need to get some updates done to make it really competitive. Up until now, Nettie's been pretty much manually managing the whole thing, and he only has so many hours in a day. And even myself, like taking care of payouts every single day, it takes a good couple of hours every night, because you do like all these BTC transfers, and each transaction's like a half hour to an hour until it goes through, and it's just it's brutal. So we need to automate that, and we already have a path. We already have a plan for how we're going to do that. And once we get those payouts automated, we're going to be able to build into the system. Thanks to the delegate payout, we're going to be able to build into the system that added bonus, which is going to make MineBitshares the most profitable of the mining pools. Now, the reason you want that is because for those listening who don't know what mining is, they know what mining is, but essentially to a miner, all they really care about is the profitability of the mine they're pooling. The profit margins in mining are generally razor thin. You're either buying hash power from places renting rigs, or you have your own miner and you're paying for the power and everything else to run that thing, and you only have so much of a margin between that and what the payout is on the coins that are mined. So what we need to do is we need to get the payout system automated, and within that automation, what we're going to do is build into it basically a series of feeds, which are going to go out and on a daily basis capture what the mega hash payouts per day is going on with all the other pools, major pools that are out there. And then we can actually adjust our payouts so that we're just going to be a few percentage points higher than everybody else. And then this way we'll have more of a flexibility in terms of the payouts that we're doing. Up until now, we've been basically what happened was Nethi had to deal with Bytemaster to help get the pool going, where he was subsidizing the payout to make it all done in BitUSD. So part of why Nethi originally was going after the 100% delegate was because that entire deal was about to expire. And without that subsidy, basically the payouts would have dropped, and then the miners would all just go somewhere else. So yeah, that's. But in that process, in that entire process, he proved the case. You know, he had this was like a proof of concept. And it showed that, you know, like RGCrypto was saying, we ended up having more users coming into BitShares. We had more liquidity happening within the ecosphere, and there really isn't anything else that's been done that's actually shown that kind of effectiveness. And Nethi's been so busy with the technicalities of the pool and everything else that and just getting things kind of set up to a certain level that he hasn't done a whole lot of promotion yet. He's really just, got the tip of the iceberg so far. And what we need to do now, and what we are doing now, is actually, with that automated payment system, we're going to be able to ensure that every single day, we can be the most profitable pool on the internet. And with that, you're going to have every single miner coming to us, and it's not going to take very long. You know, you show a few days of profitability like that, miners are like, it's a fluke. You show a week, they'll be like, it's maybe these guys aren't really reporting what they're supposed to. And then you show 2 weeks, and now everybody's like, whoa, what's going on here? And so you're going to see that sort of thing happen once we introduce the system to operate like that. Following that, because payouts are so important to miners, because a lot of them today are actually buying hash from rental places. So they're renting hash at cloud mining places and whatnot. So they like to do things on a schedule. And if the payouts aren't consistent in terms of the time of day when they can expect them, then it just kind of throws a big wrench in their ability to buy more hashing power each day. So once we have that automated system in place, we're going to be able to attract miners like that more so. And then we are going to look at introducing SHA-256 mining. Right now we only support X11 and SCrypt, which is great. But of course, all the big Bitcoin mining is happening on SHA-256, as you know. There's also altcoins out there too that use that. So we're going to get updates done. It's a big process. Like it's quite a task to introduce a whole new algo into a pool. So we're gonna do that after we get our payout system properly done. I've already been in contact with just somebody I know who is I guess I don't know if you call him a serious Bitcoin miner or not. They produce, they mine about close to 100 Bitcoins a month. And then they have a few other friends who do roughly about the same. So altogether, they do about 400 Bitcoins a month. I had some conversations with them about what we were going to be doing with introducing this pool. And they told me exactly what I needed to do. They said, make sure your payouts are consistent. Make sure, if we're getting 1% more from you over where we get everywhere else, we'll give it a shot, and we'll go there, and that's all it takes. And but when you think about 400 Bitcoins at 1%, and you talk about that volume, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars a month of liquidity and volume that is going to be passing through this system, and all of that is going to be passing through BitShares. So. Which brings me to the next point, and that's, we've been doing BitUSD payouts up until now, and the whole prospect of that was to make it easier for taxes and everything else. We're going to be introducing, and we've been in talks with CryptoSmith to pay out in real gold. So miners are actually going to be able to turn their mining into real gold and real silver. And that's going to come later, though. We've got to establish our payout system. We're going to get more tightly integrated with places like Meta Exchange and block trades, so that we can introduce more than just BitUSD. Miners will be able to select other types of bit assets. And then with that, we'll be able to then make the transition to actually allow miners to actually mine for real gold and real silver. We've already, had talks with Genso and the programmers to arrange that so that our systems would be connected, and just automatically the miners would be able to get a notification when they have mined enough to produce maybe not a coin or a bar, but some kind of a small piece of gold or piece of silver that would be physically mailed to them. So that's another interesting thing, which some miners are going to like, and with those that, but beyond that, it's going to be a huge marketing play to be able to, for the first time, offer real gold and silver mining from the Bitcoin or from crypto in general. So those are some of the short-term goals that are happening in terms of where we want to take things. All that's going to happen over the course of the next month and a bit. And we'll be working hard with the programmers to get those updates done. And you'll be hearing about that. But of course, it's a big undertaking. It's very technical. It's a lot of hard work. So we won't necessarily be making updates every single day about new stuff coming out. But I'm very, very excited about it. I think it's going to bring, like I said, a lot of great liquidity to BitShares and new users. And once everybody who's out there, mining scrypt or whatever comes into our system and sees what we're doing, and then they of course will get into the BitShares ecosphere with their payouts. I think you're going to see more fans from the rest of the cryptosphere joining our community. So that's about it.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to just ask one question, and this is one that's: what if this is extremely successful? Let's say in a month's time, or a month and a half's time, you find yourself, you find this pool has grabbed 30 or 40% of all the miners mining through the top pools. Is it going to be a problem consistently keeping that 1% added benefit to our pool over all the other ones?
It could be, potentially. However, the thing about mining, pool mining, is that it's a bit of a catch-22. You can't offer the highest payouts initially because the bigger you're mining, the more profitability you're able to generate, and that's why miners will use pools, because they can get better profitability from mining in a pool than they can trying to mine solo mining, is what it's called. So what will happen is that as we grow to those levels, we will actually start to outperform other pools solely on our own, on our sheer size. So at that point, we're actually going to be able to scale back on the delegate pay that we're using to keep our profitability up. So like the reason why this is such an amazing thing with the delegate system is that we can use that delegate pay now to help us attract the miners as being the most profitable pool, even though it's not all coming from the mining they're doing. But later on, as we grow, as a result of that, we can actually scale back on the amount of delegate pay that goes into the pool payouts, because we are actually being more profitable as a pool. Plus, there's some technology improvements we're going to be making. We're going to be introducing something called merge mining, which is more of a different method to what we're doing now. So we're gonna explore every modern way we can to increase our profitability just from our mining operations. And then from that, as we get more users and as our pool grows, so will our profitability. So I don't anticipate, as we go forward, we don't want to be operating on a zero budget constantly. So we're going to have to, develop a bit of a buffer. So if suddenly someone comes on and starts mining, that's just gonna increase our profitability as that increased mining happens. So I don't believe it's going to be that much of a problem. However, as we get started and as we have things operating, the numbers are going to speak for themselves. Like you can generally, if you look at the mathematics of a certain day, you can figure out how much the payout is going to be that day, just from looking at what's going on with the pricing of everything. So we can anticipate in a given day if we are going to be most likely profitable or not. So that's but that's something that we'll all have scripted, so we don't have to really worry about that. Yeah, that's I don't think it'll be that much of a problem. If it is, then we have talked about the possibility of introducing or at least attempting to hire on other delegates. Or at least try to get another 100% delegate to help with the funding if it becomes necessary. Now, the cool thing about all this is that if, as we grow, like think about it, like imagine we get those 400 Bitcoin miners coming on board per month. That's tens of thousands of dollars that's now coming into BitShares. We improve the liquidity. We now have more volume. This is in turn is going to increase our market cap. So as increased market cap happens, the delegate pays of all the 100% delegates all go up. So that in turn gives us more funds to be able to work with in order to be able to get the to be able to pay out the percentage differences. So that's it just kind of feeds itself. It's like a perfect storm. So we, I don't anticipate it really being a problem. But as we get operating, we'll have a better handle on the numbers, and we'll be able to see if that does become a necessity. Then we can look at introducing the possibility of maybe another delegate or maybe two delegates, and then actually have solid numbers to work from that can tell you exactly what that will produce in terms of results for BitShares.
We're also exploring different profit mechanism because Bytemaster kind of alluded to a possible affiliate program for people bringing new users. So that may be one way where we're also able to generate money to keep the operation running.
So this would be another way that would, because my big concern, and it's always been this, would be our success in this undertaking happening at such a rate where keeping those payouts, right? Because the larger the pool, you'll bring in transaction fees, correct, as well. However, if we're using that delegate to kind of subsidize to help bring in those people, because like you said, Data, miners care about profitability. And if they're going to be able to get profitability and they're also going to be able to get paid out in something that's pretty much guaranteed, stable, like a bit asset that is very easy to figure out taxes for and stuff like that as well, you're looking at a huge value proposition to people who are miners. I mean, this is something that's really big. And as soon as they start sniffing it and they realize this, they're going to come here, and I believe there's nothing keeping them coming here in troves. And that's the biggest concern for me. But I guess what RG says, that makes sense. If we have an affiliate type of program in addition to this, that might bring in enough extra funding without the delegate system to ensure that even as it scales, you are ensuring that you have enough profit coming in that you can almost guarantee that you're going to be at least one of the most profitable pools, if not the most profitable pool.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, Tamara just made a point. We're going to be operating from the bunker, and which all is a data center, which means that we have the potential for actually introducing cloud mining to the pool. So we could actually start to bring on our own servers and do something similar to what NiceHash has done with being able to sell hash to the miners, and then in turn we'll be able to profit a little bit more on that as well. So we want to be as creative as possible in terms of finding ways of where we can pull profitability from. Like even anybody who's talked to me about this project, they know that one of the first things I ask is like, okay, is there a possibility for some kind of affiliate program here? Is there some way that we can get a cut on that? Because every little bit is going to contribute to us being the most profitable pool. It can't just be the hash. It can't just be the hash. So we can't just deal on hash alone. Man cannot live on hash alone. So yeah, we're looking for, this is the entrepreneur in me that's looking for every single way that we can pull from multiple paths to make it as profitable as possible. I'll even be looking at the possibility of using trader bots so that we can trade on the coins that we mine at maximum profitability. We'll explore all these possibilities as we go forward and continue to develop it because the technology is constantly changing. Proof of work is not going to go away anytime soon. I know DPoS is awesome. I love DPoS in all ways, but the proof of work model and the miners, there's just so much hardware and there's so much industry behind it. It's going to go for quite a bit more time, I think. And with that, MineBitshares is going to be is basically going to pull on that entire industry into BitShares. And I think, like I said, this is really a marketing play, which is why having RGCrypto on board is fantastic. And this is something that we've proven that's working for BitShares. So yeah, that's where things are going. We want to find other ways to get profitability into the system so that we can lean back on the delegate and maybe even eventually take out the delegate altogether. That is the objective of it should be the objective of every delegate is to get off of the delegate, go down to a 3% delegate and, operate as a business on its own feet.
Well, it sounds awesome.
Well, one thing I'm going to add to the discussion is that, I'm not going to be inactive and just send money to the MineBitshares. I'm actually going to be working on the front end of the website. So I started my journey into programming, learning JavaScript and CSS, and looking at integrating with a web wallet, possibly from the website directly. And so that, the miners can have access to their fund and also being able to trade if they feel like trading on a decentralized exchange directly from the web. So I just feel that this project just integrate with everything. It integrates with our bridges. It integrates with trader bots. It integrates with the web wallet. They're just, it's just really a great marketing play to showcase what we've got going in BitShares.
Thank you guys for showing up and answering these questions and kind of giving an update to the community members who really can't access the forums on a regular basis and really depend on these types of recordings and these hangouts to kind of keep up to date.
Thank you, Fuzz.
No, thank you guys. And thank you to the entire community for everything you do. It's the value that you guys bring to the table, and you guys are the roots that are going to grow this thing into a big, strong oak that lasts for, hundreds and maybe even, thousands of years. But anyway, thank you guys for showing up, and thank you to the community.